was just getting started working out,
Yeah.
they used to have a machine in the gym that was a belt, and they used to shake it for you. I think that was the worst because it did absolutely nothing. That's when I got started. I was 11 years old, and I went to a friend's house, and his dad had a Muscle and Fitness magazine.
Okay.
And Frank Zane was on the cover, and I told my buddy, Paul Hansen was his name. I was 11. That's when I was pitching. I was a pitcher when I was 11 years old.
Yeah.
And he was my catcher.
Okay.
When I was 11 years old, and I told him back then I want to look like that someday, and he thought I was. He said, "Well, whatever you want."
Yeah.
But that's what that inspired me to. So ever since I was 11, I knew I wanted to be a bodybuilder, or
from a magazine.
From a magazine.
Oh,
I liked the way that Frank Zane looked when I was 11 years old. I don't know what year that would have been. Probably in the 60s. But he looked, he looked great, and that's what I wanted to look like. So
Magazines were big back then. That was if you're talking about based off your plethora of experience, what's the worst fad you've ever seen happen?
Garbage. I think that's
the worst in my whole career.
You've seen it all, right?
Yeah, back when I was just getting started working out, they used to have a machine in the gym that was a belt, and they used to shake it for you. I think that was the worst because it did absolutely nothing.
Probably
it felt good.
Yeah,
I mean, people that were out of shape, they thought they were doing something good for themselves, and it did absolutely nothing.
It'd be like a massage almost. I mean, so it might be beneficial.
You've probably seen them in the old time movies, and they just shake. They shake your stomach. It did nothing. That's probably.
I would say the electric belt for abs.
The shock.
I think those shock belts. Like I bought into it for a minute, but
no way you bought it, or you bought into it.
No, I bought into that. Maybe it would work because obviously if you ever get shocked, you tense up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess maybe if you look on a deeper level, maybe it does work some. But I've never seen guys get abs from wearing a belt that shocks you. So
exactly.
So that would probably be one of the worst ones. I also think maybe just looking back, like some of the worst like fashion trends in the 90s with like those weird looking parachute pants with the fanny packs. I think that was like looking back, but everyone wore them back then. And the do-rags, that was like the gym, and the stringers.
When I was, every competitor that went and I competed against, they all had those
the fanny packs with like the crazy colored parachute pants, stringers, and like headbands, like Hulk Hogan back in the day.
Everybody did that. That's what everybody did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, but you got to thank probably the WWE for a little bit for that. Those guys were like big on that. So.
WWE wrestling was big back then. I think it was, but they had the characters to make it entertaining.
Yeah, it was entertainment. It was very entertaining.
That's actually what it all was.
Macho Man, Hulk Hogan.
It was great. For me, when I was watching wrestling, it was like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. But those guys were great.
They were good too.
But nowadays, I don't even know what they're doing.
I don't watch it anymore. I like Cena, just because I've seen him in some movies. I've seen like his reality shows.
The Rock's one of my favorite actors.
He's in everything, literally.
I really like him.
He's good, very good.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
He was a football player at the Hurricanes.
Yes.
Back in the day, believe it or not.
Back in the day, I used to have my clients, because it does get stagnated.
Yeah.
So I would have them one day a week. The hardest day it is for them to stay on their diet. That's their cheat night. Okay, they could have one cheat meal a week. I work with a lot of gals that wanted to lose a lot of weight, so that was my specialty back in the day, and I had a lot of success with that. So women like to eat. So I tell them, write down what you crave, throughout the week, and that's what you should have on your cheat night. And that seemed to work for a lot of women. So
keep them.
So with all the fat burners nowadays, and like back in the day, how did you keep your calories down? There's a lot of cardio, or more just hitting the weights harder?
No, I did a lot of body fat count, you know. If I needed to do it, I would do more cardio. If I didn't, if I was getting too leaned out, because I was zero into a show, so I would have to zero into just right. So if I didn't need the cardio, I wouldn't do it. It's really
That's an interesting concept. If you don't
Yeah,
need the
but
cardio,
the body fat calipers will tell them like a body fat percentage, basically from the different pinches of holds on the body. And what you could do then is, like he's saying, if you're lean enough, cardio sometimes can actually be detrimental. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, people don't realize that you want to get the optimal amount, but you don't want to overdo it. Because I'll give you an example. Have you ever seen a big cross-country runner or a big runner, period? And they might have big quads if they're a sprinter, but you won't see that. So because it just burns up too much. So like, you don't want to be losing gains based on cardio. That's what he's talking about. So if you can get your body fat percentage and keep it where you're still lean enough to show abs and lean enough to be, you know, you could skip some of your cardio basically.
that's an amazing point you just made, though, because you know what people think nowadays? That's do as much cardio as you can, work out as hard as you can, like hard. No, like this rest concept is honestly oblivious to people.
Most people have no clue when it comes to diet and have no clue when it comes to how much cardio to do.
Yes.
So
I agree with that. For sure. So.
I do agree though, when you're trying to zero into a show, try to lift the weights, good form, heavy as you possibly can.
Heavy as you possibly can.
Yeah. Don't change your workout when
No.
you get ready to go into a show. I mean, if you're doing 6 to 8 reps, stay with that. Try to stay heavy weights. When you're losing your body fat, that'll keep your muscle bellies larger. I mean, that's where a lot of people they lose strength, so they lift lighter weight, more reps. Try to stay with as heavy as weights as you can.
Keep I'll lean on the heavy side.
Yeah.
Okay.
That keeps your muscle bellies larger.
larger, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
I do a variation of that, but as I get leaner, I do more drop sets where I'll start off heavy, and then I
like a
kind
hybrid.
of almost like do that, and then I drop it down and my body seems to respond good to that. So like that's the reason I did it, and it's based off of just trial and error. I found out that my body responds really good to over stressing certain muscle groups by doing heavy, then dropping it down to about half that and repping out, or doing pause reps like on the FST7, we're doing partials and static holds. That I do respond really well to that. So being that my body type does that, I do that. I think everyone's going to be a little bit different. So, but I do agree with the heavy as you can go. Heavyweight is always
naturally you're going to lose some strength.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to say, don't go down to next to nothing just to
get reps in.
Just to get
Just to get reps.
reps in. Yeah. Try to do as heavy as you can. Try to keep your rep count the same 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever, however you normally work out, and try to keep the weight up as high as you can. That's all I'm just trying to say.
So to wrap things up, Arnold said, sleep faster.
Sleep
6 hours, right? Well, that's what Arnold said. 6 hours. Is that enough sleep? Because honestly, there's not enough time in the day. It's
done.
True for what he.
Whatever it is you're trying to do.
I do kind of agree, but for rest, 6 hours, is that enough?
I think everybody's
Everybody's going to probably be different. Yeah.
Everybody's going to be a little different.
I can survive on like 4 to 5, but obviously I don't try to keep that. So I'm like 6 to 8. I think 7 to 8 seems to be good.
I love sleep.
Yeah, 7 to 8 seem to be like my norm for when I feel good. I can survive on 4 to 5, but like I said, 7 to 8 would probably be my thing. I think there's a detrimental thing to sleeping too much. I think occasionally, like if you're overtired, sleeping 10 hours is fine. But if you're sleeping that constantly, then you maybe need to get some blood work done or something like that, because you probably shouldn't be sleeping 10 hours on a regular.
Probably get something wrong.
Yeah, so
infection or something.
Something going on in the system.
I think to answer your question and my thing, if you can get into your REM sleep, 6 hours, if you can get an hour or 2 into the REM, it should be enough. But if you can't get into the REM sleep, then 10 hours ain't going to be enough.
That's true. That's where you get majority of it.
That's where it's like 3 hour cycles, right? So 6 gets you 2.
Right.
Hopefully,
right?
Preferably, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that's wrapped up. Thank you.
right.
Appreciate it.
No
Nice
problem.
meeting
Good
you.
seeing you.
There's more filming,
Yeah.
but
See, we're gonna go eat some pizza.
yeah, there you go.
'Cause I think
Oh,
I saw
are they
them.
here?
I think they
Yeah,
just
they just
pulled
came
in.
up.
They just come in. Wow.
Like I wouldn't
See what
film.
she did.
I would put the camera down and not.
I don't even know how to turn it off, so.
Just bring it on in.
Say follow. You cannot be filming this.
All right, so we got 5 guys. We're in Medina, Ohio, and just got done with the shoot, like I said. So we're gonna get some food.
Yeah, okay, good. We just did a photo and a video shoot. And now I'm like,
This is our cheat meal. So like,
Oh, really?
yeah.